Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? Today we are going to go through NMAP host discovery using ARP. Now, if you guys have not been following my videos, that's fine. Go ahead and follow along with using TryHackMe. This is the NMAP room on the CompTIA Plus room. So just go ahead and join me. This is going to be task 5 on discovering live hosts. So, jumping right in, we're going to sit here and say, how would you know which hosts are up and running? Well, it is essential to avoid wasting time port scanning an offline host or an IP address that is not in use. There are various ways to discover online hosts when no host discovery options are provided, and MAP follows the approach to discover live hosts. Number 1 is when a privileged user tries to scan targets on a local network / Ethernet, and MAP uses ARP. A privileged user is root or a user who belongs to sudoers can run sudo. All right. When a privileged user tries to scan outside from the local network, and MAP uses ICMP. So if you are internal, you are running as root. You guys are doing pretty standardized tests. And then when you're running from the outside, it has to send an ICMP or otherwise a ping scan to see whether or not the host is up. And MAP uses ICMP echo request, TCP ACK acknowledge to port 80, TCP sync synchronize to port 3, and ICMP timestamp request. All right. Do we have a machine here? No. Am I wasting my time? Am I spinning my wheels? Yeah, why would it not be there? Let's see if that works. So, an Arp-scan is possible only if you're on the same network. That's extraordinarily important because you're going to need to know that when you're doing man-in-the-middle attacks, or if you're going to try to perform any kind of session hijacking of sorts. Going back real quick on NetMap by default uses a ping scan to do all live hosts, then proceeds to a live scan host only. If you want to use NMAP to discover online hosts without port scanning a live system, you can use so it's without port scanning. Yeah, so SN is going to be just to go see what hosts are live. So you're going to go NMAP tech SN port 10 10.210 .6 10.6 and then the CIDR notation of 24. If you're not familiar with CIDR notation, you should get used to it when dealing in pen tests, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of NPAP. Especially if you're going to be doing any kind of like live discovery with NMAP, or if you're just going to be doing any kind of vulnerability scanning with NMAP. Great job. I've successfully scanned a target. Wonderful. Moving on. While this runs, we'll just go through. NMAP is possible only if you're on the same network. I said that earlier. On an Ethernet network. So 802.3 and Wi-Fi 802.11. You need to know the MAC address of any system before you can communicate with it. The MAC address is necessary for the link layer header. The header contains the source MAC address and the destination MAC address, amongst the other fields. To get the MAC address, the OS sends the ARP query. A host replies to the ARP query, and the ARP query only works if the target is on the same subnet as you, same as the Ethernet and same as the Wi-Fi. You should expect to see many ARP queries generated during an NMAP scan of the local network. If you want NMAP only to perform the scan without the port scanning, you can use the PRSN, TAC PR, TAC SN, and the targets, where PR indicates you only want the ARP scan. And the following example shows the NMAP using ARP host discovery without any port scanning. We run PRSN machine IP / target IP and 24 for your CIDR notation. To discover all the live systems that are on the same network of our target machine. This takes forever because it is scanning 256 hosts of this the IP address, so it takes quite a bit of time. In this case, the attack box goes to 10.10.2.6 and it uses ARP request to discover the live hosts on the same network. So this is basically what it's doing. It's doing this across the entire network and seeing who replies. If you look at the package generated using TCP dump or Wireshark, you'll see the network traffic similar to the one below. And you can see that these are all broadcast, and it's coming back with a ARP protocol, which is basically how ARP works. So it's sending out a signal to every connected device that's on the network, and whoever responds says, hey, I have this IP address. So talking about ARP requests, we should mention that a scanner is built around ARP queries, Arp-scan. It provides many options to customize your scan. Visit arpscan.wiki for detailed information. It's not loaded onto TryHackMe, so I wouldn't recommend you trying, but if you wanted to, you can simply type in arp-scan, and it'll tell you it does not belong there. So you could also sit here and say, I want to download it. So you go sudo app install, and you would say Arp-scan, and that would put it on the local machine. So, which is basically what this whole thing just goes over. It's downloading it now. I don't think it's going to actually, it might use sudo map. Okay, so this is just downloading the packet. So from here, you can go ahead, once it downloads, try using DNS. Did I do something wrong there? No, we're not worried about that right now. If I'm not mistaken, this is not a room that has a scanning. It's probably just going to be, nope. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So we're going to come back over here, just jumping back in. We're going to run the same Arp-scan. At the top. I was just going to see if there was something I missed along the way. I don't like theory videos. I like to see things in action. I like to show things in action. The best way to learn is to teach. Well, the best way to teach is to learn. One of those two makes sense. We can obtain a MAC address. Arp-scan. So this wasn't there. I wonder why it's asking me to scan that then. But if I'm not mistaken, similarly, the command Arp-scan will generate the same. So this will generate the same type of output that the NMAP scan would in Wireshark, because you're doing the same thing in Arp-scan, and you're just doing it with a different tool. This tool is specifically designed for Arp-scan. And if you want to check the parameters in that it has, you can easily go Arp-scan, attack H, which will pull up the menu for Arp-scan. All right, and here are all the options in which you can use Arp-scan. It is a tool specialized in ARP scanning, so it just does this, but it has a whole heck of a lot of more parameters in which you can basically scan your network in many, many ways. Ignore DNS dumps or dedumps, duplicate packets. You can output your file, your MAC file, so destination address. A lot of things you can do with Arp-scan that you can't do with NetMap. But NMAP's the one that you're going to go through. So I'm not going to deal with this. I think it's 3. And we are moving on. Feel free to follow me on the next one. This, again, has been a video mostly on Arp-scan and ARP scanning, but I will include it in the NMAP pack. So I will talk to you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mostly comment, because I need to know exactly what I'm doing. And I will catch you in the next one.